Hello everybody, my name's Idiotic Synergy, and today we are talking about Khârn the Betrayer. I love this model. I think if you like World Eaters, you like this model. There's a high chance that you like this model, because it is iconic to the World Eaters. Khârn is just really iconic. He's one of the best World Eater characters. He's very well rounded, he's well written, and his model, despite the price being £24, that hurts. That really does hurt my soul, because I remember when he was much, much cheaper. But despite the price, this model is iconic. And the only other thing I have to say about it is that it is getting on in years a little bit, but it's still, when people think World Eaters, they think of this model. Unless you're me, who thinks of Sufal the Impaler, but that's because I'm weird. Yeah, there's not a single bad thing I can say about the model. Other than it's old and the price is a bit much for what you're getting, but I do love Khârn the Betrayer. Gorechild looks great, which is this axe here. I like his... I know this is always a point of anguish for some people, is that one of his arms isn't armoured. But at this point, we've seen it for so long now that if he didn't have that one arm unarmored, it would look weird. So I think that's all right. I mean, he's got a bunch of skulls on him because he's Khârn's chosen champion. I do love Khârn. Khârn's really cool, and I like how his helm also has like little, if you can zoom in, hopefully I can, but if you look really closely, there's skulls inside the helm as well, and also there's like a little mouth there. It's really weird and I love it. I love this model. And also I like how his plasma pistol is is got like these sharp little stabby bits on them. I like to think that's how he works his plasma pistol. He stabs the plasma pistol into someone and then fires, because there's like little stabby bits there. But unfortunately, the rules for this model do not live up to the hype. Because, in my opinion, I think Khârn the Betrayer in game is probably the second worst HQ choice you could bring, and it just hurts my soul. I'll show you what I mean. So, these are the rules for Khârn the Betrayer, and the best way I can describe it is half-baked, because it feels like there's a lot of shit missing. In fact, it feels like Khârn the Betrayer has actively been replaced by Lord Invictus. I don't know why Khârn is so half-baked. It's Khârn the Betrayer. I don't know why he's so shit. I mean, compared to like a regular Chaos Captain, or like a regular, not Chaos Captain, a regular Captain or a regular Lieutenant, he's good, but his stats don't make sense. He's Khârn the Betrayer. He's really into melee. Movement 6. To put that in perspective, this guy moves 10. Chaos Demon Prince moves 8 without the wings. Lord Invictus moves 10 or 12. I can't remember. And yet Khârn only moves 6. So he's very slow, and he's toughness 4. Which feels odd considering it's Khârn the Betrayer and the amount of points he is. Again, he's the most expensive. He's the second most expensive HQ. Lord Invictus is only 20 more points more than Khârn the Betrayer. However, a Demon Prince without the wings is 5 points less. The World Eater's Lord on Juggernaut is only 120 points, and the World Eater's Masters of Execution is only 65 points. Yet with Khârn, he's 140. So you would think he would be quite good, but he's really not, because he's quite slow, and by the time that he gets into melee range, it's probably going to be turn 2 or turn 3. Now, yes, you can shove him in a Dreadnought or a Drop Pod, but that's more points to accommodate one character. it just doesn't make sense when you can spend the points on something else. Like, you've got all these options here. You've got the Exalted 8-bound, you've got the Terminator Squad, you've got the Jackals and more Khârn Berserkers, you've got all these different options. You've got the regular 8-bound if you so desire. You've got Chaos Spawn, you've got, again, all these different options, yet Khârn's just there, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, and him being toughness 4, he feels rather fragile, which is weird considering that Khârn has been buffing him for the longest time. And then you look at wounds. He's only got 6 wounds, meaning that a Vindicator assassin with one good shot can just instantly kill him. Hell, even if you've got a bunch of Psykers that deep strike behind Khârn and you just do smite, you can easily kill him with just smite. There is nothing there. There is literally nothing there stopping that. And Khârn, it feels weird because it's Khârn. It feels like he needs to be more powerful, but he's not. However, the good thing about this character is that he hits on 2s, obviously. Strength 6, which, okay, isn't... Well, it's quite good against infantry, but against vehicles, it's not the best. But against infantry, he's quite good. And 9 attacks. 9 attacks is a fuck ton of attacks. That is basically a blender. But the problem is, it's getting him into attacks to use the 9 attacks. It's getting him into the fight phase. Sorry, I said getting into the attacks. It's getting into the fight phase where he can use all 9 of his attacks. That is, if he doesn't die there first. Now, as far as his weapons are concerned, again, it feels half-baked. Yes, the plasma pistol has been improved. It used to be a regular plasma pistol where if you roll a 1, he died. Now, if you roll a 1, it doesn't fucking matter because it's Khârn's plasma pistol, so it's just overcharged with no negative effects. That is quite good. Gorechild should be better than Strength 6. I really don't know why Gorechild hasn't got 2 weapon profiles. You could easily give Gorechild 2 weapon profiles, and that would be understandable. Hell, Lords of Contagion have 2 weapon profiles for the scythes. So why doesn't Gorechild? I don't get it. Typhus has 2 weapon profiles for his massive scythe. Why doesn't Khârn? It just feels really fucking weird that Gorechild, one of the most iconic World Eater weapons, doesn't get 2 attacks. Instead, it's only Strength 6, which I don't get either because it's a Primarch weapon. It's a weapon that used to belong to Angron of all people. Anyway, Strength 6, AP -4, damage 3. That to me seems really weird. If it was like, I don't know, like 2 weapon profiles, one of them was ×2 the strength, but -1 to hit, that would have been fine, and the other one is you got a lot more attacks, but it was strength of the user and more aimed at infantry, that would make sense. But because it's only the 1 weapon profile, it's quite good against infantry. Against vehicles, you're going to struggle because vehicles are toughness 7 and above most of the time. So 5s and 6s, yes, you have got 9 attacks and you're hitting on 2s, but you're wounding on 5s and 6s. And if those vehicles have an invuln save, the AP4 really doesn't matter. It just feels half-baked. It just feels really half-baked, and I don't know why. Now, his abilities. So, his abilities. Sorry about that slight nosebleed. That was terrible. Anyway, Sigil of Corruption is a standard 4-up invulnerable save that nearly everybody gets. Well, every Chaos Lord gets, sorry. You get to reroll wound rolls of 1. If you have any friendly World Eater core units, they get to reroll wound rolls of 1. Not Khârn, sorry, should have made that clearer. So he's a glorified lieutenant. And the Betrayer. I don't... yes, it's a nice fluffy rule, but at the same time, it just hampers him more. Yes, it's a nice fluffy rule. Yes, it's really quite silly and daft, and I like it. But there should be another ability to sort of counter that. Because if there's one friendly unit within 3 inches of this model, roll 1d6 on a 1, that unit suffers 2 mortal wounds, which isn't great. But I reckon there should be one more ability where if he dies, you roll a dice on a 4, he comes back up. I think that makes sense. If on a 4 he comes back up with D3 wounds remaining, I think that would be a lot more fair than just this, because he's a glorified lieutenant. That's all he is. He's a glorified lieutenant, and he should be more than that. And Arch Slaughterer is one hell of a hyper-specific warlord trait. Seriously, unless you're fighting a horde army, this one is quite useless. Because if there are 6 or more enemy models within 3 inches of this warlord, until those attacks have been resolved, add D3 to the warlord's attacks characteristic. Meaning you can do a maximum of 12 attacks, which is quite good because you're hitting on 3s. But, not hitting on 3s, hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s. And also, it's just really hyper-specific because if you're fighting Custodes and they're not bringing Sisters of Silence, you're not ever going to use that. If you're fighting Knights, that one goes out the window. If you're fighting anything that isn't a Horde army, or an army with lots of bodies near each other, then this one just seems weird. And yeah, it's hyper-specific against hordes of infantry, but if there isn't, then you've just wasted a warlord slot. And I think the only good thing is that he gets Blood Tithe. That's the only good thing. But I don't know, he just is disappointing to see in game. Maybe you think I'm wrong on this, and that's fine, because I don't play Warhammer competitively. I don't know all the ins and outs of, what would make the most balanced unit, but from the outside looking in, it feels half-arsed. He needs to be better. And I understand why he isn't, because they wanted to sell Lord Invictus. That's my conspiracy theory. And I'm pretty sure that's why Lord Invictus is so goddamn good, is so that people can buy him. But I think it does a disservice to Khârn the Betrayer, because Khârn the Betrayer is a really good unit. Or should be a really good unit, because he's a really good character. But then again, if you bring Khârn the Betrayer anyway, you're cool in my book. As much as I've just moaned about the rules for the past few minutes, I don't hate Khârn. If you want to bring the model, that's fine. If you want to do an army that is just that would be quite a daft army. But if it was just whoops all cultists and Khârn the Betrayer, that would be quite cool. In fact, what would be the dumbest list you could make? All rhinos apart. Sorry, just the idea that somebody has an all rhinos army and he doesn't tell the opponent which rhino has Khârn the Betrayer in. That would be such a stupid game mode. I would love that. You have to kill one of these rhinos. One of them has Khârn the Betrayer in, and I'm not going to tell you where. Oh dear. But yeah, a really dumb army is if you just go whoops all jackals and then have Khârn. That would be entertaining to see. That would really be quite entertaining. Just 3 massive squads of jackals, Khârn the Betrayer, and then just a shit ton of Chaos Spawn. Hang on a minute, they don't get Warp Talons? What? Or Raptors? What? That doesn't seem right. Why the fuck doesn't... Oh, fuck off. Sorry, they don't get fucking Warp Talons or Raptors. Why not? They are so cool. They would fit with World Eaters. Oh, that sucks. I don't think I like that. I really don't. I don't like that one bit. That's just horrible. Why the fuck don't they get raptors or warp talons? It fits with World Eaters. I don't know. Anyway, I've been Idiotic Synergy, and I'll see you later. Take care and stay safe.